from the land down under, it's boomerangs. Coming up on Newton's Apple, a lesson in the science of the skillful toss. Also, some scientific secrets of Italian cooking that'll make your guests say molto bene. All this and more next, Newton's Apple.
Welcome to Newton's Apple. Newton's Apple is made possible by a grant from DuPont, makers of better things for better living, and also by this station and other public television stations. And now your host, National Public Radio science correspondent Ira Plato.
Thank you. Welcome to Newton's Apple. If you wonder about nature, marvel at technology or the human body, if you're just curious about the world around you, then you've come to the right place because we're here to answer your questions. So let's get right to our first question. And this time it comes from
Ellen Dinnerstein.
Now, Ellen, you wrote us a very interesting question. Why don't you tell us?
Why do boomerangs come back to you?
You ever seen a boomerang? You ever thrown one?
Mm-mm.
No, in fact, unless you've seen a boomerang fly, it's actually very hard to believe that they work as advertised. But they do, as you're about to see. Now that's what I call using your head. Next, it was my turn to throw. I decided to leave the dangerous William Tell act to the pros and concentrate on the basics. My teacher was Eric Darnell, expert boomerang thrower, designer, and author. Is it really as easy as it looks there to throw boomerang?
It really can be. It's a lot of fun. With a little practice, you can throw every bit as well as the people you just saw throwing.
Now what do I have to know to throw it?
Well, several basic things. You need a right-handed boomerang if you're right-handed.
What's the difference? There's a right-handed and a left-handed boomerang?
There are mirror images of each other, and a right-handed person would throw one direction, and a left-handed would throw another direction. Now, there's some basic misconceptions that got to be put out of the way right away.
All right, number one.
Number one is people throw sidearm.
You don't throw sidearm.
You do not throw sidearm. It's disastrous results. Throw it sidearm, it'll go roaring up and come down and crash and usually break.
You don't want it to crash.
You throw it almost vertically, a little bit angle out, but most people tend to throw it around the corner.
Oh, I see.
Don't need any help.
Don't help it.
No. So you're throwing it with lots of spin and a full body throw.
Straight out.
Straight out like that.
What about the grip?
The grip is very important. You can have either a pinch grip, like so, lots of spin, like a wood chopper or a fly fisher, or you can go a full hand grip like that. And then you put the flat side against the palm of your hand, and whatever you do, don't throw up.
Don't throw. What do you mean, don't throw up?
Well, most people tend to throw it up too high. You want to throw it almost straight out.
Oh.
It's very important. Yeah. Why don't you give it a try?
It's in the wrist. The
Yeah,
trick is
it's
in the
in the
wrist.
wrist.
Stand back, folks. I'm about to throw a boomerang. I don't know where it's going to go. Here we go. Oh, that's a good one.
Excellent. Back up. There it is.
That was so much fun, they had to drag me back to the studio. But now that we're here with Eric Darnell, let's finally answer the question, what makes a boomerang fly and come back, Eric?
It's basically just lift and spin.
Lift and spin.
Yeah.
I always thought it had something to do with the shape, the classic V shape of a boomerang. That's not true.
It's a very minor factor. I mean, you look behind you, you can see quite a variety of shapes.
You have ones with 4 points on 3 wings, and you have one shaped like a tomahawk.
They've even successfully made them out of every letter in the alphabet.
No kidding.
And really, the variety is endless.
What about these two up here? These look like they're made out of wood. Look like they're very old. They have kangaroos on them. They must come from Australia. Naturally.
Right. Well, these are actually non-returning. These are hunting sticks.
They don't come back.
They don't come back. And returning types have been used for hunting, but they're primarily for sport. They're lighter and they're more fun. I mean, it's not designed to be a weapon.
But they all must have something in common besides the ones that don't come back.
Yes, they
that
do.
allows them to be boomerangs.
Right.
What's that?
They're basically wings like an airplane with a flat bottom and a curved top. Let's go over here to the wind tunnel and take a closer look.
Ah, yes, the old Newton's Apple wind tunnel. Seen this a few times. Do you have a wing cross-section in there?
Yeah, this is like an airplane wing, and it's also like a boomerang wing. It's the same basic airfoil.
Oh, there it goes.
There it goes, starting to fly. Now, this is Bernoulli's principle in action. Air going at a higher speed creates less pressure. So the wind going along the bottom is going in a straight line, and the wind going over the top has to go over at a higher speed because it's a longer distance, and therefore there's less pressure on top, higher speed, than on the bottom, so the wing wants to go up.
Classic Bernoulli's principle.
Exactly. The second thing we're looking at is the angle of attack, which is the angle of the wing in relation to the wind. And I can adjust that, and you can very graphically see. I'm flattening it out, and it goes down, and then I increase
Well, as
it.
you bend it down here, there's more wind pushing it back
Goes
up.
right on up.
Well, all right, that explains why a boomerang flies, but it doesn't explain why a boomerang comes back.
Well, now we're looking at spin. Now, spin in this case is like a gyroscope. There's the gyroscopic forces involved.
You going to show us about that?
Sure am. Come on over here, and we'll take a look.
Looks like a bicycle wheel with a big boomerang on it.
Exactly. This is gyroscopic motion. Not only are you throwing the boomerang forward, but it's spinning, which gives it tremendous stability and wants it to keep going in that direction, just like